that same side, you see the Georgia State Park, which was adjacent to the car shed.
Fantastic, LeBron. Keepers, creepers, what a matchup.
And then here's looks directly at the Atlanta Hotel.
Yep.
And you can see the front of the car shed.
Is that code 83, LeBron?
It's code 70.
It is? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, even though I went to flex track instead of hand laid and the point for turnouts instead of the otherwise, I wanted to keep the small rail.
Right.
So for me, it's become a matter of choices and where I compromise and where I don't.
Yes.
So, there's from the Civil War photographs for those.
Right.
All right. This is the other turntable, the one that you was talking about, Tom. And you can see I added the superstructure to it. Mm-hmm. From a photograph I saw of actually the prototype. It was in New York, but I like the look of it, so I moved one into south.
I love it. Looks great.
Those lumber coming out, that's where you like push against when you're turning it?
No, it turns automatically. I got a switch that turns it.
But the prototype
Atlas turntables started with?
That, yeah. I think it was an Atlas.
Nice.
I love the plane.
So, yeah, it's not what I wanted, but it works. It serves its purpose. So, and I've got 5 of my locomotives there on at that spot. And
how many of those you got hooked up with DCC?
Currently, I think I've got 7 or 8. I'm not sure.
Wow. Wow.
But none of them have sound. I got to put sound in them.
Okay.
I've got several of mine disassembled right now for maintenance. Because when they've been sitting for over a year, yeah.
It's like our body. If it sits a year, it takes a little while to get it cranked up.
Yeah. That's looking back across from the corner to the other side of the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I got that's my workshop there in the back, open. You see, it's a closet, which is. I will have to admit that I am envious of Tom. He has too much space, and if he could transport it to Georgia, I would make arrangements for him to do so.
I tell you though, for that small space, man, you got that tripped out really nice. I mean, you don't waste any space in there, and yeah, it's very organized.
So, and that's all I have for my layout.
Would you take us back to your the track plan that they did for you?
Sure. Let's see here.
Go back. There you go. Yeah. So looking at this, your workshop is in the bottom left-hand corner, right?
No, it's the top right-hand corner.
Oh, really? Oh, dag. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. So where's the entrance? The entrance is by the. Oh, that's right. It's by
By
the
the
bottom
L in
right.
my name.
Yep.
You, yeah. You come in right.
So when you
Well,
come out of
the
Atlanta,
entrance is
go ahead.
at the number one.
Yep.
You come into
Um.
the number one. You see that's the entrance,
Right.
and you can see to the right is Atlanta, and the turntable we were talking about is over to the left
That's the
on
Atlas.
that peninsula.
Right.
Yes.
So the siding that comes out of Atlanta, you got a couple of sidings there. Is that a particular? Where is that on the W&A?
Uh, uh,
Or is that just a siding along the?
this is it's just a siding.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I I haven't determined what it's going to represent yet.
Right.
Oh,
And do you have your plantation in there?
I will have it in there. I'm still working on where things are going to go.
Right.
That's why you saw all those houses. Uh, so, the church. In fact, I had two churches set up on just see where they might look the best.
Mm-hmm.
And
Great-o. Wow.
So this is Atlanta to where?
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
Um,
Like that loop.
It's not what I once wanted, but it's what I'm settling for.
Yep.
There was a lot of detail packed in. It's beautiful.
I
They did.
enjoy it. It's my little world. What
Yep.
time?
They did this plan for you, correct?
They did the plan for me, yes.
Right.
I offered some suggestions, and there were some things that I said that had to be Atlanta. The layout in Atlanta had to be precise because I already had the car shed built, and I wanted it to fit. So,
A car shed's even more impressive in person.
Everything's
On the
more
left
impressive.
hand side, there's some shape in red. Is that a mountain?
it's a mountain, but I'm not following their recommendations there. The only thing off of their plan that I'm sticking to is the track plan, the track itself.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, you got
I
quite.
want
I say you got quite
I
a town there in
want
Chattanooga.
what
I was gonna say
cut you off.
you have quite a town in Chattanooga.
Well, there was a town there in Chattanooga,
Yep.
and I can remember going to see the general there in Chattanooga when it was there as a child,
Right. So I'm also
because
looking.
I was
Go ahead, LeBron.
I said I was born in Chattanooga, so I grew up not just outside the city limits in Georgia till I was about 12. So
I noticed there's some squares with X's in them. What are those? Like when you come out of
I don't
Atlanta?
know.
Oh, hmm.
Did the uh, company you hired, did they base those buildings on structures you had already built?
Uh, all of the structures I put on myself.
Oh, you
When they brought when they finished, I had a flat table with a track laid out on it, and they've been real good about when there have been problems with that track coming and repairing it. Like I say, I'm having trouble with one of my turntables, and they made several trips down here so far trying to get it corrected. But
but
all the buildings are I put on myself.
did you put the buildings on this track plan?
Yes. I didn't follow the building layout that they have on the plan. I ignored that.
Okay.
The only thing I I followed was the track itself.
So all the structures in Chattanooga might be different.
Might be different.
Okay.
Um, let's see.
Those look like bomber tables.
It's a solid table.
Yeah.
And they did not do any wiring either?
Yeah, they did all the wiring except for the. I have not attached the wiring for the buildings yet.
LeBron, your turntable there, the one in Atlanta, is that the same one that's in that famous 1865 picture where all the engines are parked in there and all that number?
No. The I know which one the other one. My other turntable more resembles it than this one.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
uh, I don't know of any photographs of the turntable in Atlanta. Do you, Tom?
Golly, no, man.
I mean, the one that he's talking about's in Atlanta, but it was are mostly destroyed except for the track itself.
You're talking about the Georgia Roundhouse.
Right.
Yeah. Now the decking on that turntable, did they do that for you?
Uh, yes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
You said that was a New York prototype?
Yes. Well, the structure was the decking was not. That's using the decking because of the Atlas turntable. I wanted to give it some kind of mid 19th century look.
Yep. Yep.
That's a great idea.
Mhm.
Nick Kane, the reason why I asked about the decking, because Nick Kane, who's working on a 1850s to 60s California layout, also has a wood deck, which can be seen in old lithographs of Sacramento for his turntable. And that's a really neat design with the whole planked table instead of having it just on the tracks itself.
And I like the way it operates as well.
Is it a one where it just locks into place?
It's got a little switch on it that you turn. It's kind of like a dial, and then it locks. It turns, stops, turns, stops till it.
The motor's housed in that shed off to the left of the turntable, that little one.
Right.
Right.
The motors that.
Okay.
And I put a deck out in front of it with barrels and stuff on it.
In the prototype, that shed, would that have been, would they have motorized this also in the prototype?
No, it would have been hand pushed in the prototype.
Yeah, they had it so balanced. I think it only took one or two guys to turn the thing around.
Yeah.
What are
LeBron,
the? Go ahead, DC.
okay. My question is, what is that structure in the lower left-hand corner?
That is a structure where they're building a boxcar.
Oh, okay, okay, I see it now. Thank
Yep.
you.
And what are the along the outside of the turntable? You got these evenly spaced beams. What are those?
They're the plastic on that turntable that they come from Atlas.
Got it. So you'll just scenic all of that in between there, I guess.
I'll do something there to. Well, you can see I put a little grass already there, so that.
Yep. It looks like you've started ballasting there a little bit too.
Well, some in that corner.
Right.
And in the upper right, were those buildings railroad buildings, or is that part of the city?
Oh no, that's part of the city.
Okay.
And so they're just those buildings are just sitting there. I want to eventually have lighting for them because most of my buildings have interiors. So the White House behind the steeple, that's where Tom runs his little restaurant. And the blue house, blue is the blue one. DC has a doctor's office, and he doctors folks.
Who operates
Thank
that?
you.
It looks like there's a tavern there and right
Yeah,
on
there's
the curve.
there is a tavern there.
Can I sell my place and buy the tavern?
No, you can come over to the tavern and pay for your drinks. I'll be glad to take any currency you might have,
Okay, yes, sir.
even federal currency.
Even federal. Okay, good.
LeBron, you need to put a pile of arms and legs out behind the back door of that blue building.
Right.
Well, I meant to take pictures of it. I didn't. Underneath the layout is a diorama of the Battle of Chickamauga. And I do have a field hospital with arms and legs piled up outside it.
I was wondering if you still have that. Yeah.
I was able, DC, to integrate it very successfully. It's underneath it, and it fits just perfect.
Great. So your passenger cars, are those Mantuas that you cut up, or are those just built from scratch?
Those are Mantuas I cut up,
Okay.
except for the baggage car.
Right.
I think
What is
I
what?
used the Mantua roof and ends, but the sides are scratch built.
Right.
So
Were you able to uh, salvage the Etowah mill?
yes, it is probably going to be uh, in the uh, right upper right corner of this picture here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to salvage that. So there's a little spur track going off to the side that I'm going to use for Etowah.
Good. Yeah, that would be something that you could show us next time. That thing right there is a little presentation of itself, the furnace.
Oh yes, when I get to building it, put it back together. Uh, I've got the far brown building, natural building you can see in that picture, is a blacksmith shop, and I've got a flickering fire to put inside there,
Nice.
and we'll get that done at some point. But the biggest problem with this has been I boxed everything up after I tore it out, uh, and I can't find stuff.
You didn't label your boxes, did you?
I did, but some of the stuff I didn't label apparently.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Yep.
That I keep looking and I eventually find it. So,
Exactly. Where's it gonna go? Right. It's somewhere in there.
yeah.
It'll be like Christmas when you find it.
Yeah.
A new
Uh,
present.
yeah, exactly.
That's good. Full screen. Cool, man.
Mm.
Right.
Any other questions, comments?
I love how you match things with the pictures, LeBron. I mean, that's just fan-freaking-tastic, especially that right there that you're showing us right now.
Right.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I was amazed at how it turned out. But, you know, using the 3D idea gives you that sense of dimension
Yes.
that you don't. Uh, it just surprised me how well it did turn out.
Yeah. If you were to take a picture at the same level as the photograph in the left lower, it's even more impressive because you can see like it's almost dead on.
Yeah, I tried to do my buildings on my background so that you would be looking at them from the same angle that you do the 3D buildings
Right.
from the bottom.
Yep.
So,
The other thing that you do that I really like is how you take a very generic backdrop of that commercial photo of the woods, and then you paint it so that it blends with more continuity with what you're presenting here. So like the buildings that you have in here, it really gives a sense of how big Atlanta is by painting on that, and you don't lose the effect of the backdrop where you can see like it just goes forever.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
thank you. That's what I was trying to achieve. So
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Mission accomplished.
Yep. Well done, man. Cool.
And that's unfortunately, I didn't get any good photographs of the intelligence or office, and I came across a photograph of a Adams Express wagon that I built a model of and put on there. It's got screen sides and back. It's kind of cool. And I intended to get a photograph of it, and apparently did not. So I'll have to show that at another time.
This, like a horse-drawn wagon?
Yeah.
You have a photograph of that?
Yeah, I came across a photograph in, I think it was on the Adams, it was the Adams Express website.
Check that out. That's cool. And it was, you said screen?
Yeah, it was as opening screen on the sides and back. It's got a roof on it and all, but it's just kind of cool.
What did you use for the screen? I presume you scratch built this thing.
I used the wire mesh from well, one of the suppliers. I don't remember who it was, but it's just a wire mesh.
Oh, it's an actual screen, like a commercial screen.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I used as the core of it is from a Jordan wagon.
Okay. Do you know which
Yeah.
one? Was it like a buckboard or?
No, it was the one of the commercial wagons,
Like a
delivery wagon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Okay.
all right.
Muchas gracias, señor.
Well, I'm glad you let me show.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
No, thank you, LeBron.
Yes.
Fantastic work.
So your immediate project is what? What's the first thing you're doing after this presentation on the layout?
Let's see, what am I doing next? Oh, I've got to build a building across the street from the Intelligencer office, so that Whitehall has some structures on both sides.
I know that when you're looking at this view here on the left, from the photographer's view, to the right of the photographer would be the Macon and Western
Intelligence.
Depot, right?
Yeah, the Macon Western warehouse, but on the street itself is the Intelligencer office. It's
Right. And then there's a photo. I remember this fella did a remarkable job with Atlanta. And he had an entire website where he zoomed into a whole lot of areas in Atlanta. And
Yes.
there's one photograph where across the street from the Intelligencer, at the end of that street where there's that classic view of the it's where, what was it called? It's where it was a slave auction. Remember
I contemplated building that building, but I decided to go with one
closer to the track.
Closer to the track.
Right. I think that was I forget that. But so if you go down that street of those buildings, one building to the left of that was an ice house that was on the track. And I was like, wow. I never heard of that before. And so that opened up all kinds of questions around, how.
I remember us having that discussion vaguely.
Yeah. Yep. And they must have I guess they stored the ice there and shoved it into the box cars when they were hauling anything that needed to be coal. But I don't know what that would have been or what it even looked like when they were doing that process of loading up ice.
Well, they made the ice there at that ice house.
They made it there?
Yeah, they made it there. They had some kind of
Place
freezing
it.
unit. They had some kind of freezing unit, and I don't know what what the technology was, but I've read that it was manufactured there.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Phew. That must have been a challenge being in the South.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
that's
back to
true.
the truck, did it have any like higher platform, like the later refrigerator cars would dump it?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
These would have been loaded right into the side of the boxcar and in layers with hay to help insulate it. Um, and I guess they would have put in produce or anything else that needed to be cold. Yeah. That's when I saw that. I thought, boy, that would have been a great structure to build on the layout. But that'd be
And
one
they
time.
probably shipped the ice itself too, Tom, to places
Oh, yes,
along along the line.
yes, yes. Good point. God, we got nine. Sam, we got Sam here too. Mm. Well, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Uh,
Good to see that you're well along the way.
Well, I do what I can.
Yep. Well,
Spend a lot of time in doctor's offices, but
well, I'll
taking
tell you
medicine,
what. I won't
lots
schedule
of
I won't schedule you for a follow up this summer. So
fun.
we'll wait till maybe next February to give you some time. Yeah. Cool.
I try to do something every day
Amen. That's right. That's right.
instead of planting a tree.
Yep. Yep. That's the deal, man. Every day, one thing every day, for sure. Um, I think, let's see. So for in 2 weeks, so this is unusual. We're doing two meets in 1 month. I know in the beginning we used to do that because there was so much material and stuff that people wanted to share. But we're going to do our usual third Thursday this month with Chris Gerlach and his City Point virtual layout. And then in April, we have Dr. Jerry Wooten, I believe, talking to us about is it the Nashville and Northwestern? I was talking to him. He's um, very articulate, very knowledgeable, sweetheart of a dude. So that should be a good presentation as well. And then in May we'll have John Ott. I was talking to him one day, I guess about a week ago or so, and he was in the middle of cleaning his layout. And I like, how do you do that? And he started telling me all the stuff that he had to do. And I thought, okay, presentation. So he's going to share with us his approach to how do you clean your layout without destroying anything. So that'll be in May. And then in June, we have, oh, I forget is it Brody? Austin, you remember the guy's name?
Is this the Nash? No, hold on.
Oh, Brady. What the heck? He wrote a book. Charlie saw him online doing a presentation. And this is the fella that did like one chapter about some railroad. Oh no, this is the guy that does Virginia Central. Woohoo!
Yeah, that's right. I was about to say Jerry Wooten's the guy that Charlie found.
That's right, and he's going to have that professor with him who wrote an entire book about this line, so that should be pretty cool. Um, and the one that's doing it in June, he's big into operations, like what was transported, how it was transported, things that went along that happened in the movement of trains. So that should be pretty exciting as well. So I'm glad to see that we got things rolling, and I think by the time that's done, we'll probably have a layout update from either maybe Ron Flowers, maybe Roger, maybe DC, maybe me. I've got we got the Mid East Region Convention happening in the Philadelphia area in September, and I'm going to do a clinic for them around operations on a Civil War railroad, and I'm going to expand the one I think I did with you guys a while ago. I got some new ideas from Dan Free, and I might do that. Maybe I'll do that in August as a rehearsal for what I do in Philadelphia in September. So that's the lineup. It's pretty cool. And of course, if you guys want to share something, if you have any ideas that you want to forward to DC and I that we should consider for a presentation, let us know. It's cool that we get speakers that don't want any money. They're just, digging the opportunity to do it. So that's what's
And your
happening.
layout, I remember a while back to my operations, you had mishap cards. You still do that?
I had what, Walter?
Mishap cards, event card, all of a sudden, something derailed, there's cow on this other, just different things.
Yeah,
General wants a special trip or whatever.
yeah. Bernie came up with that idea for his layout. He calls them random elements, or random events, rather, random events. And
Okay.
as things would happen here, I would get new ideas. So one of the latest ones, which is not too recent, but where there's about a 10-car train that's leaving in Atlanta, goes in a big shanty, and no, it's just a locomotive. It's going to go pick up a train, and when they gets there, the random element says a certain car has a broken axle that they've got to leave behind, and it's in the middle of the train. So they've got to figure out a couple of runarounds and what to do with that. In the meantime, there's a train coming behind them that's about 10 minutes. So they got about 10 minutes to pull this off before the next train comes in. We have, oh man, what are some of the other random elements?
Gray spot.
Oh yeah, this was a situation that I read about when Fuller was writing to Wilbur Kurtz, and he said there was a time when the locomotive Catoosa was supposed to take a bucket of grease and meet another locomotive in Kingston to hand it off. So there's that, and then or I'll have debris from a wreck, and the random element is in addition to your train orders, you got to pick up the wrecking train and go to this location and pick up the debris from the wreck. Or another one is, you're hauling, several cars of hay or feed, and you get a note that says the commanding officer requires that you drop off 2 boxcars of feed in this location. And then it's a matter of, number one, do you choose to listen to this general because you've already been ordered to take these someplace else? And then, not that I need to do this because it happens anyway, but there's always some little traffic jam that occurs someplace. And when you read the accounts of the operations, especially on the W&A, the train delays were insane. I mean, you're talking like hours sometimes. But we try not to do that here because it would kill the day and everybody would be pissed off, and I don't want to have that happen. But we make it, I hope, fun enough and interesting enough and controversial enough, and they keep coming back. So that's the most important thing. But the random events is a lot of fun For me, at least, I'm not operating. I'm just watching the show. Yeah.
One thing kind of fun with that also is you get to blame the general or blame the cow or blame the person who made the broken axle, or you get to be
Well,
pissed off at somebody.
theoretically, yes, but they always, they always point the finger at the dispatcher, who's me. So I'm
Uh-oh.
always usually taking the brunt of that. But I can deal with that. That's no problem. How do I get out of this? Oh, can't do that. There we go. Cool. All right, gentlemen. Any other questions, comments, anything to share?
I'll add just for everybody's reference. Next week or next meeting with Chris Gerlach will be on Zoom as requested by Chris.
Thank you for that reminder. Yeah, I'll be sending you all a link, just so that you know that, to remind you that, well, it won't be a reminder. I'll actually send you the Zoom link. Good. All right. Well, gentlemen, this was fun. LeBron, thank you so much again for doing this. It was great to see what you got going on. I'm glad to see that you're making some really good progress and you found these builders for you to help ease the process so that you can enjoy it even more. We'll look forward to seeing what happens with you down the road. And everybody stay well, stay healthy.
Enjoyed it.
Sounds good.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
y'all.
you, LeBron.